Let's go back to 1986. NASCAR tests out the track before the big race in August. Of course, the eventual winner, the late, great Tim Richmond, got a first look along with Chemung native Jeff Bodon at the track. NASCAR returned for the first time in 21 years back in '86, and Richmond said it was a good idea to get a jump start.
Obviously, this course being one that you got to pay major attention to where you're driving to and through, that sometimes there's a lot of missed shifts, which results in a lot of blown engines, and blown engines put oil in the track, and oil makes it slippery, so makes the car slide everywhere and you have no control of it. So that is an advantage there. You know, there's an aura floating around this place, like at Indianapolis, and you know, when I drove in here the other day, you could tell this is some place special.
The Glen is back, NASCAR is back, and ESPN ready for live coverage of the Budweiser at the Glen.
Quite frankly, the crews just do not know what to expect as far as gearing is concerned and brakes, and those are two things that we certainly will be keeping an eye on during this race today. Well, let's go down to the pit area with Jack Arute, who's with Buddy Baker, not a driver in today's event. Down the backstretch for the final time. It's still about a 1-second lead for Tim Richmond, but he's looking very, very strong. He's in corner number 7. Tim Richmond is about to win the Budweiser at the Glen. He raises his hands, comes off the 7th corner, gets a little bit sideways. The back tire's off the course, but it doesn't make any difference. Tim Richmond has won the Budweiser at the Glen. Finishing second was Darrell Waltrip, and third place went to Dale Earnhardt, fourth to Bill Elliott, and unofficially in 5th place was Neil Bonnet in an outstanding performance here this afternoon after having some serious questions about his physical ability to go this entire distance, but he does, and Neil Bonnet finishes 5th. Well, let's go down to talk to our winner of the Budweiser at the Glen, and the winner's circle interview is being brought to you by Goodyear Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. Here's Jack Arute.
Hey, well, who says road racing's a bore? Congratulations, Tim Richmond. That was one whale of a run.
I tell you what, there was a lot of tough guys out there, and we held back a little bit there for a while to just make sure we had the brakes to be able to race them at the end, and the car worked great. I mean, Harry Hyde and the whole Folgers crew, they're making me look real good, and they're making it a lot easier on me to win races. And I can't take much credit because they're the ones that put this equipment under me, and Rick Hendry. And I want to say hi to Rick's mom down in Charlotte. She was sick, and my sister in Ohio in Ashland, the Wales rib down in Deerfield, but they're going crazy now. Anyway,
hey, listen. 4 wins. Now you're the guy that's leading. You've got 4. Earnhardt had 3. You've moved into the leadership role. What about the Winston Cup points chase? You said all along that we're going to be in it by the end of the year. This has got to make it one more mark, even though you gained just a few spots over Waltrip and Earnhardt and the rest of them.
Well, some drivers seem to think that the media and the paper and hey, Harry! Hey!
Boy, there you go. Now there's a guy, Harry Hyde, that is absolutely proud. Harry, at the beginning of the year, you said that Tim Richmond was really going to be the cat to be dealt with. Now, how do you feel about it?
Well, I think he's great. I couldn't say enough for him. He just run a beautiful race all day, kept his cool, run smooth, and, it just proves he's a champion. He's a champion all the way.
Well, I'll tell you, we've got Rick Hendrick here also, and this is a guy that we normally don't get to see in victory lane. Rick, a 2-car operation. You've won with both of them, but this is the cat that's really getting the job done.
And look what we did. We brought the old man out of retirement. How about that for an old guy? Yeah. Timmy drove a heck of a race, and we couldn't be any happier. And I'm just so proud of Harry and Tim this year. And I don't know how many he's going to win. He said he was going to win 8. I think can you win 8? You still got time?
I promised you I'd win 6, so I got 2 more to go.
What do you think about that, Richmond?
Well, I'd take it, but also the guys back in the engine shop, Mark Graves and everybody, this thing ran like a top all day, and I'm just glad to be here. But what you was talking about before about this championship thing, a lot of drivers think that talking on this thing and in the newspaper and stuff has something to do with on the track, but this thing right down here is going to do, if it can talk, it will, and if it can beat him, it will, and if it can't, then I like third, too.
Well, Richmond says put your foot where your mouth is, gentlemen.
And we'll go to victory lane.
And Tim Richmond, out of the Folgers coffee machine, congratulations on a super run here.
Thank you, Ned. I tell you what, the guys sure made it easy on me today, meeting Harry Hyde and the whole Folgers crew. this thing was flawless all day, except at the start. We went from first to back to sixth or so. We changed motors today. We changed everything because we didn't feel comfortable with what we had in practice. So the guys got here early this morning and changed everything there was, I think, to change in the car. When we started, we had a little, the motor was missing, and we switched to a different ignition, and it cleared it right up. And that was about the only problem we had all day. we just made a point to try to stay out of trouble and not burn the brakes off the car, and we had enough car left at the end to whoop on them.
At one time, Darrell had moved in with about 10 laps to go, moved back up on you. Were you sort of cooling at the same time, and you thought he was too?
No, not really. You know, when Darrell started hammering on me there towards the end, I had some left. I didn't want to extend the whole car and then not have any for the last 2 laps or so. But Darrell, he played a very smart race today. He didn't look like he was even in the hunt there for a couple times. But then at the end there, with I think about 5 laps to go or 8 laps to go, he turned the wick loose on it, and he started coming at me. But in about 2 or 3 laps, we kind of got away from him after that. He I think used the brakes out, but he had a lot left, and he was using everything he had. If I had made a mistake, Darrell Waltrip would be the winner right now.
Tim, your impressions of Watkins Glen?
Well, I mean, what can you say about New York? You see that thing, I love New York? Well, I love New York, let me tell you that's for sure. How about it?
Okay, he's got a kind word for everybody, especially when you're in victory lane.
Well, yeah, I'd still have the kind word for all the people up here in the state itself, even if I wasn't in victory lane, but it's even more special since I am. This Watkins Glen, there's a phrase for somewhere, someplace special. This is someplace special, and I'm very, very proud to be part of the winners roster here at Watkins Glen. This is something very, very dear to myself, and I hope we get to do it again.
Well, Mike and Barney, he's certainly been on a roll here lately on the Winston Cup circuit.
He really has. He's been a credit to the sport, and he's been good for the sport of auto racing. He's one of the most colorful drivers, and he makes things happen. He's like Dale Earnhardt. When he gets out there, you're going to watch him.